Welcome back, guys, to another episode of Tennessee Liquid. On today's episode, I'm going to be doing things a little bit different along the way. And the model that I'm going to be painting is the Queen of Mayhem herself, Harley Quinn. Now, if you don't know who Harley Quinn is, I don't really know how to help you. I mean, if you know who Batman is and you know who Joker is, then you have got to know who Harley Quinn is. But if you don't, stick around and you can at least watch me paint a model of her. So without further ado, let's jump on into that video. Before we take off, y'all go on down to the comment box and leave me a little comment down below. Tell me some things that you like, maybe you didn't like, maybe things I need to fix. Either way, we're helping the almighty algorithm out. So get on down there and leave me a little comment. To start off this Epic Madness model, I wanted to paint the base copper color right in the center because I don't really know what this thing is, but it's supposed to be copper, so I painted it copper, knowing good and well that I'm going to have to do some masking in a few minutes. But sometimes you just got to do what you got to do. And after that got good and dry, then you want to take your masking tape and mask off the center and a really sharp knife and cut out the edges. And then I took some of this chrome paint. Now I've used this chrome paint a couple times and I really like this stuff. It's really shiny and it goes on good and it sprays good through airbrush. Now I come back with some black primer and painted over the overspray of the silver. And the first time I done this, I painted the rocks brown, and I didn't like it at all. It didn't look good. So I redone it black, and then I went back to doing this gray color that you see now. The good thing about rocks is none of them's the same. There's all different kinds of shapes, colors, sizes, and everything. So you can just play around with different colors till you get the look that you're going for. And you can always just keep adding colors to it to make it look a little bit better and see what it comes out with. I did come back with some white and dry brushed over just the high spots to kind of give it a worn edge look, just to give it just a little bit more detail. I came back in with some panel line wash. Now this stuff, if you've never used it, it's pretty thin and it goes just about everywhere. Wherever you stick that little brush on the end of that paint thing, it'll go. And I came back in with that just to darken up some of the creases and crevasses, I guess you could say, and nooks and crannies is what I always call them, and just to darken them back up just a little bit. And last but not least, you want to come back with just a plain old black and touch up around the base, because you want to have a black base, because every base has got to have a black bottom for some reason. So just go around and paint everything black, and then when you get that done, your base will be done. Starting with the skin tone, I started off with a white zenithal highlight. And you want to put this on just about everywhere, but you want to leave some of the black. I did go ahead and spray the boots mostly white because her shoes are going to have to be painted white, so I just went ahead and sprayed them with the ink. I also done that on the shirt and the jacket as well, because the jacket will need to be red and blue, and you need a white base for the red to show. And then you want to come back in with a magenta color or a pink, just to kind of give it a little red undertone to your skin. And you want to spray this from the top down. Then you want to come back with a transparent red. Now you want to spray this from bottom up, kind of like in the shaded areas and the bendy parts of your knees and your elbows and stuff like that. Just spray it in there to kind of give it a little undercast of red, because when you bend your skin, all the blood rushes to the skin surface and makes it turn red. Now this is one of the new things I'm trying. I normally paint all my parts individually, but this time I thought I'd try it standing up all in one piece. But the main thing is you want to put some saran wrap over your base so you don't get overspray on it and you have to paint it all again. I started off with a neutral skin color for the base, and then you want to jump on into the gnome skin. Now you want to start spraying this stuff kind of where the light hits it, and this is one of the main reasons I thought I'd try standing it up, because now I can see where the light would hit everything and where I need to be spraying. And then after you get all that done, it kind of desaturates the color just a little bit. So you come back in with the Orcish Dermis and spray back into the bendy parts, kind of like where you sprayed your transparent red. You know, in your kneecaps and the back of your knees and things like that, in your bendy areas, just to add some of the color back into it. And then after all that gets dry, you want to come back in with an even lighter skin. Now this is where I thought the lights would come in pretty handy, because now I can see exactly where I need to be spraying this, because this is your highest highlight and you want it sprayed to where the light would be hitting it the most. And while I had my airbrush out, I decided to paint her weapon of choice, a baseball bat. So I grabbed me some brown colored skin tone and sprayed the bat a brown color. Starting in on the bat, the one that is in the black right here that I primered is the one that was printed with the model, but it doesn't have any detail on it. But somebody come up with the idea of let's make my own, and I found this on the website CG Trader, and he made his own bat and put raised letters and everything on it, and it come out really good. And I'll try my best to leave a link in the description to that extra bat if you are wanting to print this model, because it made it a whole lot easier to paint with these raised letters, and well worth the $1.50 it cost. I started painting the letters white because all the letters on the bat needed to be a red, and a red needs to have white in behind it to make it stand out and pop. So you just want to paint everything, pretty much everything red, because it's either got to be red or blue. The red on the diamonds had to be a different color red, so I chose to do a brighter red just to make them stand out a little bit different than the letters. Now for the white around the diamonds. I realized after I done started all this that it would have been a whole lot easier just to paint this all white and then come back and paint the red and blue diamonds, but that's not how I did it. I chose to do it the hard way, and it worked out good, but it was the hard way. Jumping in on the fishnets on her legs. Now you want to take a super dry brush and dry brush black all over this thing, and just make sure that it is super dry, because if you don't, it'll mess up and leave streaks and just get you all discombobulated and frustrated. And if you take your time and do it right and just do it slow, they come out really good. They look just like fishnets, which is what you was trying to make them look like. After you get that done, you want to move on to her shoes. Now I use liquid mask on this, and if you've never used this stuff is pretty cool. You put it on just like you're painting it with regular paint, and then give it an hour or two to dry, and then it just paints. And you can paint over it or whatever you want to do, and it just peels right off. It's pretty neat. To do her tattoos on her legs, I found these markers on Amazon, and they work pretty good. They don't bleed and they don't run, and when you spray them with clear coat, they don't even smudge. But they come in like 5 or 6 different sizes into a pack, and you want to use one of the small ones. I think this is a 0.2 or 0.3 or something like that, and you just draw them on there. And if you're not good at hand drawing without a stencil or anything, make sure you practice on a piece of paper first, because once you put this on the leg, it's there, and the only way to get it off is to repaint, and nobody's got time for that. And one last thing, make sure you do them upside down like she done them herself on her own leg, which would be upside down. And while I had the pen out, I went ahead and done these little words all the way around her bat. I had to look these up to see what they actually was, because I didn't know. And it is Harley Quinn's interpretation of Hush Little Baby Lullaby. And if you look at actual pictures, she's got words marked out to make it her own lullaby. And the word good night come from the 2016 Suicide Squad film, which refers to the final blow to her opponent, which would be knocking them out and saying good night. And that's your history lesson for today. So the next time you see this bat, you'll know exactly what the words say. Moving on to her shoes, they are very detailed, and this is probably one of my favorite parts of this entire model. This is one of the reasons I painted this model. I like these shoes, and I had a lot of fun doing them, but they do take a long time to do, and I didn't record me doing but one, but the other one is just like it. And the best way to get the pattern in which these shoes are painted is to go on Google and Google Harley Quinn shoes, because she wears these shoes quite often. And she may be the only person that has a pair of shoes that looks like this. So you just have to look it up and find out what they look like. And the only splash of color that was on these shoes are some little red stripes on the sides. They're on both sides, on the inside and the outside of both shoes. And the buckles on these shoes, I think they're actually supposed to be silver or chrome, but I painted them brass just to match the rest of her outfit that we're going to be painting here in just a few minutes. And I didn't show me painting but one, but like I said, these shoes took a while. I mean, I think they took me maybe 45 minutes a piece, so I just showed me painting one, but the other one is exactly like it. And when you get done, you can sit back and say, man, those some good looking shoes. Moving on to the body. Now the body is where you'll spend most of your time, because it's got the most detail in it. and her jacket was two different colors, blue and red, and I wanted a pearl looking color to my blue and red, and I bought some paint from Createx that had pearl already in it, but it was too dark and it didn't look right, it didn't pop. So I mixed it with some Vallejo red and it come out really good. But if you've ever tried to paint red, you know red is a stubborn color to paint and you have to paint it a time or two. But this jacket did take me a while, and I'm just going to jump ahead to where I had it finished and done. The trim around the bottom of her jacket was actually red, and it's at the bottom of the blue, so just remember to paint it red and not blue, because I almost started to paint it blue. And like I said before, I had to put a coat or two on this, so just be careful and not touch it until it dries, because it takes a little while to dry. And with the blue, I just went ahead and mixed it just like I did the red, but this time I used a paint from AK just to kind of give it a brighter blue look. And I done it the exact same way as I did the other side, so I'm just going to sit back and let y'all watch me paint. After that got good and dry, I come back in and painted her shirt an off-white, and I moved on to the second most favorite part of this model. This is another reason I wanted to paint this model, was these letters on her shirt. Now these letters are raised really nice and they're really easy to paint, and it looks really cool when you get it done. And I took one of the markers from the set, which this is the 0.8, so this is a little bit bigger, and you want to paint on the outside of the patch that is on her shirt, which I guess would be the stitching around it, maybe, I don't know, but it had an outline of black, so this was the easiest way I found to do it. And then when you get that done, you can sit back and say, man, that is an awesome looking shirt. The collar around her shirt had to be red, but it was supposed to be kind of faded, kind of like she's been sweating or wet or something, and it kind of ran down her shirt. So after you get your red painted, you want to take that same red and water it down into different layers and make it look like it's been sweated in or gotten wet and faded down her shirt. And after painting the black, which somebody, I'm not saying who, forgot to record that he painted the belt black. And then after you get the belt painted, you want to come back and paint all her jewelry on her belt, on her belt buckle, her arms, her necklace, everything. She has a lot of brass. You just want to paint all that a brass color. And then after all that, you've got one final thing to do, is to put a tattoo on her stomach. Now the tattoo on her stomach is supposed to say lucky you, and it's kind of hard to get to because of her belt buckle. So I went ahead and drawed this on with a pencil before I done it with this marker, because with the pencil you can rub it off just a little bit with some water if you mess up. But when you put this marker on it, just like the tattoos on her legs, once it's there, it's there. And you want to make sure it looks good at the end. And last but not least, you want to put a little heart on the hip. Nothing says I love you like putting a heart on the hip, I guess. which is better than wearing it on your sleeve, I'm sure. And with that, the body's done. Let's move on to the head. First off, you want to start painting her hair, just so it gives the face kind of an outline and it doesn't look so weird when you're trying to imagine what the face is going to look like. Now, I started off with this Basilisk Brown, and to me this is a pretty good color to make blonde hair, like a dirty blonde, but you do have to do it in a few coats just to make it look right. And once you get done, it's kind of a dirty blonde look, and then you come back and add highlights to it. Just make sure that your hair is good and dry before you start holding it, because if you don't, you're going to have a sad time. You're going to have yellow all over everything and ruin your paint job, and then nobody's got time for that. You want to take a black and come back in and start painting her mascara and her eyebrows. Now, your eyebrows, when you go to do eyebrows, you don't want to paint them in a solid line, because then they're just going to look weird. You want to take your paintbrush and just make little slashes and marks, like all over, just in different directions to make it simulate real hair. And then take you some highlight skin or an off-white, because the whites of your eyes are not pure white. And you don't want them to look pure white, because then it's just going to look a little wonky. Now, she's got blue eyes. You want to take a dark blue and make the pupil of her eyes. And then you want to come back in with a lighter colored blue and go on pretty much all of it, but leave just a little dark rim around the outside of the light blue. Now, you see me using a fancy looking paintbrush here. Now, you can pick these up at the dollar store or anywhere. These are called toothpicks. And they're good for making little bitty dots, because the end of a toothpick is round and they make good dots. And then you want to come back and add just a small speck of white for a specular highlight. Put you some gloss clear coat on them, and then you can call the eyes done. Moving on to her, I think it is called eyeshadow. I don't do makeup, so I don't know what this is called, but I'm gonna call it eyeshadow. You want to mix pink with a whole lot of water, and you just want to put it on and then let it dry. You can always add more, but it's really hard to take it off. Now, I definitely don't know what this is called, but it's almost like she's been crying or something. I don't know. It was makeup that's supposed to look like it ran down her face when it got wet. So maybe she's been in the rain, or she's been crying or something. I don't know what it is, but it's there. And you want to do the same thing that you did here with your eyeshadow. You want to mix a whole lot of water, but one side of it is blue, and the other side of it is kind of a reddish pink color. And like I said before, you can always put more on, but you can't take it off. So just take your time and get it to look like you want it to look. The next step is to do her lips. Now, your lips are something that if you don't get them right, they look a little weird and look a little funny. They make the whole face look out of proportion or something. I don't know. They just make them look weird. So just take your time and sit back and just make sure they're even on both sides. You don't want one side more uneven than the other, if that makes sense. And then I just took the marker that I used for her tattoos and draw the tattoos on her face. She had a heart on her cheek and the word pudding on her chin. I forgot to record that, I guess, but it's on there. So you just have to take my word for it. And moving on to the hair. You want to take a lighter color yellow and dry brush this over all of the basilisk color on her hair to give it kind of a few highlights and to make it stand out a little bit better. And last but not least, you want to spray the hair after you get them highlighted. One side of it's got to be pink and one side of it's got to be blue. So you want to water this down really, really good and just spray it on in layers until it comes out the way you want it. And don't forget to color the hairband things that are on top of her head. that holds her ponytails. And then after you get that, you can glue the hair on and then call this model done. And here we are again at the end of another video. Hopefully something has inspired you to go out and paint your very own Queen of Mayhem herself, Harley Quinn. And a big thank you for sticking around and watching my video. Don't forget to like and share and leave me a comment down below. And a massive thank you to all the people who have subscribed to my channel. You are the reason that I do this and I keep doing this. So keep on subscribing. And if you haven't done it yet, now is your time to shine. It's free of charge. I don't charge anything. Just go down there and smash that subscribe button. And remember to treat people the way you want to be treated. Until the next time, y'all come back now, you hear?